this alternative lifestyle living on a narrowboat. Off-grid, out in the countryside, having different scenery every few weeks when you move, seeing different wildlife. The tranquility of it all has saved my life. And it puts me in a wonderful place. And I've learned to live in the moment. I've been living on the boat for 5 years now, and it's incredible. I don't think I could go and live in a house. It's just so amazingly different living on a narrowboat. Everything slows down, and living in such a small space, having the least amount of things, gives you a lot more freedom. You feel a lot freer. You know, you've got less to worry about as well. I've been married for 26 years, 2 children, and was working in the pub trade with my wife. And we decided to go and live abroad, and unfortunately, after the first year, my wife became very, very ill very quickly and passed away. And I was left devastated. You know, I was depressed, and I had to come back to the UK, and I came back with very little money and a suitcase. That was it. I ended up couch surfing, staying at friends and family's houses, and had no home. Didn't know really where my life was going, but I was really, really depressed, and nearly ended my life. Woke up in hospital one day, and that was a bit of an awakening for me. And I ended up getting a job with the Canal and River Trust. The Canal and River Trust, they look after the canals, the 2,000-mile network of canals throughout the UK. And I became one of their fundraisers, and I got chatting and friendly with all the boaters, and they were telling me how amazing it was and how it had changed their lives. And I just thought, I got to do that. I need to be on the canal. How could I, you know, but I've got no money. I can't afford to buy a narrowboat. And I went back to a family member, was talking about it, and said, look, you know, I've got to get out of this depression. I need a home. I need somewhere to stay, because I was couch surfing and staying in people's houses that I didn't know. And my family relative says, how much do you want? Go out, buy yourself a boat. And that's what I did. And it was only sort of like the second boat that I looked at that, you know, as soon as I went inside, I just thought, this is home. I could live on this boat. It's amazing. And so that's how I got the boat, and so grateful for it. This lifestyle has saved my life. My home is 57 foot long, and it was built in 2005. It's called the Liverpool build, which were quite common in their days. It was quite in a dirty state, rusty state, but not that bad. You know, it was just surface rust, but it needed painting, it needed a rub down, and never done anything like it in my life before. But I managed to rub the whole 57 foot of the boat down, treat the rust, put some primer on, and repaint it the lovely green. And so the interior, I've not really done a lot inside. The chap that had it before me, he'd insulated it with foam. He did all the carpentry in here. He did all the fitting of the kitchen, everything. I am a full-time liveaboard, and I'm a continuous cruiser. A continuous cruiser is a person that doesn't moor their boat in a marina. I just literally move every 2 weeks. That's the rules with the Canal River Trust. So for me, moving the boat, it's not a problem. I love it because it's like you're on vacation all the time. You have 2 weeks in one beautiful place, and then you move on to another place. and the energy is different every time, the scenery is different every time. Living off grid, I have solar. On the roof I have one solar panel, which just provides enough electricity for me to work on my laptop and to charge up all my little bits and pieces that I need, and the lighting of course. And the engine also provides electricity. The engine is diesel powered. I would love an electric boat, but I haven't got the money to pay for that, so I'm just happy with what I've got. I have also the wood burner, which provides me heat through the coldest of winters, and it can get very cold in winter. We can get frozen in sometimes, and you really do need that on, and it does heat up quite quickly in this boat. In the kitchen I have a gas cooker, and the gas is provided by 2 bottles that I have at the bow of the boat in a container underneath, hidden away. So I haven't got really a lot of expenses. I just pay the Canal River Trust a fee to live on the canal. There's the insurance to pay, things like that, maintenance of the boat, the blacking that needs doing, where the boat comes out of the water and it's basically jet washed down and then re-blacked to protect the hull from corrosion. We have to buy fuel for the fire, fuel for the engine to work, and I have gas for the cooker, and that's it. The gas is just for the cooker only. But 2 bottles of gas can last me up to a year. It is cheap if you're a continuous cruiser. If you're in a marina, like a lot of boaters, they pay a lot more fees, and it does cost a lot more, and the electricity can be quite expensive. And that's why I chose to be a continuous cruiser, keep moving along the canals, because it's a lot cheaper way to live. And it's just, I just love moving about and just enjoy that time at each different mooring. Financially, I just get by on very little money. I look after a family member who's 80 years old. I look after them 2 days a week, and I have a small amount of money coming in from donations from my YouTube channel. During lockdown, my job as a fundraiser with the Canal River Trust ended, and I needed something to do. So I created a YouTube channel because I'm an amateur filmmaker, self-taught. I decided to share all that beautiful footage and become a vlogger in a way. And I have this channel called Inspired by Nature, and it's about just sharing my experiences and putting positive vibes out there, and showing people how connecting with nature can help you. There is quite a lot of hard work behind the scenes living on a narrowboat. You know, you've got to go and get supplies. We're off grid, so you know, we don't have a continuous water supplied to the boat. It's got a tank at the front of the boat, so I have to go and fill up the water tank. I have to go and get my fuel for the fire. And supplies for food and things like this. Sometimes I'm moored out in the middle of nowhere, maybe 400 yards from the nearest road, and I have to go into town, get the shopping and bring it back along that towpath in all weathers. And so you're trailing that trolley. Luckily that's what I have, is this trolley. And yeah, it's not all what we call castles and roses. It can be quite difficult at times, especially in winter, when there's lots of snow, and sometimes you get frozen in as well. You can't go anywhere. Luckily for us, when you're frozen in, the Canal River Trust can't tell you to move on. You have to stay where you are. and the temperatures can, you know, inside the boat, because the water's cold, frozen over at times, then the boat can be really cold. And if I've gone away for a while and the fire's gone out, it can be minus temperatures inside the boat. But it doesn't take long to get the fire going, and within 20-30 minutes or so it starts warming up, and it can be very, very cozy in winter inside this boat with the wood burner there. But it's something over the last 5 years that I've got used to. It seems difficult, but you know, all these things that, like the engine bay, I end up servicing my own engine bay, and you get oily and greasy, but at the end of the day, all the negatives are outweighed by the positives of living this lifestyle. I just enjoy this so much, living on the canal. It is beautiful, and like I say, not having a lot of things, being very simple with the amount of objects in the boat. You know, there's not a lot of clutter. It's very simple, and I think that's how life needs to be, really. Sometimes we get too attached and gather too many things. I don't have any regrets. I'm pleased that I moved on to a narrowboat. I'm just enjoying every moment, and that is the main thing for me. And what I've learned to do is live in the moment, enjoy now, the present time. I'm in a good place, and I'm lucky as well. Very lucky to be here.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and check out our playlists for more stories like this. You can also follow Dave on YouTube at Inspired by Nature. Thanks for watching.